Hey everyone, welcome back to 996 The Howl. We are at the 30-game progress report for the Utah Mammoth. We're already a third of the way into this season. The season flying by because of the condensed schedule due to the Olympics happening in February, where everyone's taking about 2.5 to 3 weeks off. So the Utah Mammoth literally playing every other night, sometimes back-to-back nights. They just finished a string of 6 games in 9 nights. That is ridiculous. And they finished that 6-game road trip 2-4. I would have liked to go 500, 3 for 3, or grab some overtime points. In the past 10 games, the Utah Mammoth are 4-6-0 for those 10 games. From games 10 to 20, they were 2-5-3, so they're slightly better. From games 10 to 20, they had 7 points, 2 wins, and games 20 to 30, 4 wins, and 8 points. They are 20th in the league in terms of absolute points, but they're hanging on to a wild card position in the West. There's a lot of teams in the East that have more points than the Utah Mammoth, which is why they're 20th in absolute points compared to the rest of the league. In terms of points percentage, really bad, 26th in the league. They got to get wins. They got to get points. They got to figure out ways to get points against, those certain games like the St. Louis game where they lose 1-0, and then against Calgary last night where they lose pretty much 1-0, but an empty netter making it 2-0. That's back-to-back Saturday nights of no goals for the Mammoth and losing pretty much 1-0. Goals for per game is at 3.03, good for about league average. It's down from 3.1. Keep it up 3. But again, I already mentioned those games, St. Louis and Calgary. Like, their goaltending was there in those games. You don't blame goaltending for those 2 losses. You got to put the puck in the net. I know you faced a great elite young goaltender in Dustin Wolf against Calgary, but you got to execute. You got to put puck in the net consistently. Like, to go from 7-0 against Anaheim, and then you sort of struggled offensively against Vancouver, but you got that important third goal to win the game and then get the empty netter 4-1. But against Calgary, you got to put puck in net. Goals against per game, loving this. It's under 3 for the first time this season. Good for 14th in the league, 2.87. So keep that up. I love, Utah's defensive game. There was a blip in the radar against San Jose, which was a brutal game. But against Vancouver, against Calgary, St. Louis, a couple other, like against Vegas, the home win against Vegas, they're doing pretty good defensively. Even against Dallas, Dallas had 2 power play goals, so 5-on-5. They did pretty well against a juggernaut in Dallas. And then power play, I don't want to repeat myself every video. It's bad. I've already said you have to move on from the power play coach, Blaine Forsyth. Pay him out for the rest of the season. It's the holidays, take care of him and his family. But I don't know how you keep a job with what the power play is doing. He also takes care of faceoffs, which is also pretty much dead last at around 47%. They did score 3 power play goals from games 20 to 30. They went 3 for 20. From games 10 to 20, they only scored 1 power play goal, going 1 for 24. So it is slightly better. But you look at, some of these power play goals, they're scoring 2 of their 2 last power play goals. One of them was a 3-on-1 against an American Hockey League goaltender when the game was already 5-0 in the late third period, and they score that. That's 1 power play goal. And then against Vancouver, it's a sort of casual point wrister. Sergachev's just putting it to the net. It hits off like 3 Vancouver defenders, pinballs into the net. So I still don't like the formation of the power play for the Mammoth. They're not scoring consistently. It seems like a struggle. They went on a 5-minute power play against St. Louis for that knee on Logan Cooley, and it was embarrassing. Like, I was so livid after that. Like, I was completely done with that power play after that St. Louis not scoring for 5 minutes straight on the power play. That was bad. I should have had a live reaction of me during that 5-minute power play. PK is great, still increasing from a really high 81.82. They're 9th in the league in the PK, just over 82%. They did allow a lot of power play goals in the past 10 games, From games 10 to 20, they only allowed 1 power play goal. From games 20 to 30, they allowed 5, but 2 against Montreal in one game and 2 against Dallas in one game. And so they allowed 2 power play goals in each of those games. So outside of those 2 games, they only allowed 1 power play goal from games 20 to 30, but I don't just wave those power play goals against off. Dallas and Montreal, really good power play teams, and that just goes to show you could have a really good power play and win a game. I thought they deserved better fates against that Montreal game and against that Dallas game, and the fact that both of those games are 4-3 finals and their opposition scored 2 power play goals, that means 5-on-5, Utah did a really good job and should have brought those games to overtime if their power play was at least competent. Save percentage, it's slightly increasing, it's up 10 percentage points from 87.1 to 88.3, 23rd in the league. We'll get to goaltending a little bit later. Shooting percentage, still about the same, good for league average, just about over 10.5%. Shots on goal 4 per game, slightly down, good for about league average, 14th, just slightly above 20.5 shots per game. And shot against per game, they lose their NHL leading title. They drop down to 2nd place in the whole league. It's up actually 1 shot against per game since the 20-game progress report. And then faceoffs continue to be bad, continue to decrease at just under 47%. Logan Cooley, $10 million, second-line center, future first-line center, 41% in the faceoff dot. Someone teach them how to win faceoffs in practice. They need more practice time. They've had very little practice time with the amount of games in this condensed schedule so far. They've been on the road so much. They lead the league in road games. So it's good to be home. They got 3 of their next games at home. LA Monday, Florida Wednesday, Seattle Friday night. Should go 3-0 for that short homestand. And then hits, they're hitting a lot more, about league average, around 18th. Hitting leaders, McBain, Krause, and Tanev. McBain leads the way with around 90. And then Carconi is there at 4th on the team. And then Logan Cooley is like 5th on the team in hits. But so he's actually hit, so maybe he's, sacrificing his good face-offs for hitting. I like to see that. I like to Cooley get a little bit feisty and use his body, initiate contact. He did miss the game against Calgary due to, we don't know if he's injured or not, precautionary. He got, ran into the net against Vancouver. It looked bad, but the next shift he came out and then he was held off the last 3 minutes of the game and then didn't play against Calgary. They're going to reevaluate him when they get back to Utah. So hopefully Logan Cooley is okay. I don't have any information at the time of recording. My personal opinion, I feel like Logan Cooley can't handle his speed. I feel like once he hits that top speed, he's like pretty reckless. He's like can't control himself when he gets so fast. It's very dangerous when you're going so fast in hockey, like a little divot in the ice, a little tug from a defender, anything, and you're just going flying either into the net or into the boards. It reminds me of, that Pokemon move, high jump kick, where it has a lot of power and when it hits, you win, but if it misses, you lose half your health. So Logan Cooley, I'm sorry, not to make a joke, I don't know if it's a long-term injury, I hope it isn't, but when he gets to that top speed, it seems like he can't really control himself and he just goes really hard to the net, which is good. You got to have that instinct, that drive the net mentality. You don't want to turn him into a perimeter player, but just my 2 cents of watching him. Logan Cooley, 12th in the league in shooting percentage at 23.7%. So he's got to keep shooting the puck. He had that 4-goal game against Vegas in this 10-game stretch from games 20 to 30. Then we go to individual players. Keller regains his title of leading the team in terms of points. He's led this team in points ever since he entered the league. He has 8 points in the past 10 games, which is unbelievable and remarkable considering he lost his father at Thanksgiving. Still surprised he continues to play. That's what he wants to do. That's how he's going to cope. That's what he says his father would want him to do. So as long as he's doing what he wants to do, I can't believe what he's going through. And especially like going on a 6-game road trip, playing 6 games in 9 nights after that tragedy, it's like you have no time to just collect your thoughts. Like, I can't believe he's doing it, but he continues to lead the team. And then Nick Schmaltz has had a rough 10 games, only 3 points in the past 10 games. He didn't score for like 10 games. Then he gets that nice tip against Vancouver. Schmaltz, 11 goals, 14 assists, 25 points in 30 games. Logan Cooley leads the team in goals. It should be Gunther, but great to see Logan Cooley put puck in net. So he's got 14 goals in 29 games and 23 points in 29 games. Dylan Gunther, 22 points in 30 games. Gunther, Cooley, Peterka each have 7 points in the past 10 games, which if you extrapolate it to a full season, that's 60 points on this season. And so Peterka, Gunther are 60-point players. I want to see more consistency from Gunther. That one-time shot, especially on the power play, is non-existent. Gunther only has like 2 power play goals. Like, that needs to be better. Just, I want more consistency from Gunther. He has it in him. Just want to see it game in and game out. He had that unbelievable breakaway goal against Anaheim where he just turned on the Jets in the neutral zone, beat out the defenders in Anaheim, gets himself in a breakaway, goes 5-hole. He has it in him. I just want to see a little bit more from Gunther. Peterka, I'm really happy with. He had 4 points in that Anaheim game. That line of Keller, Schmaltz, Peterka doing pretty good. A little bit too perimeter for me, but you know, it's sort of working. So we'll see. We saw in these past 10 games, it seemed like every single game, except for the last 3 games, Andre Tourigny throwing these lines into a blender, not even a blender, like a food processor, just throwing whatever at the wall, seeing what sticks. They called up Daniel Boot. They call up Maverick Lamoureux after that San Jose game, that brutal loss, just to shake things up. They healthy scratch Hayden and Tanev. Hayden comes in due to that Logan Cooley injury. Durzi's healthy in the past 10 games from games 20 to 30. He played 7 games, only 1 point. At this point, I'm like, what is Durzi really bringing to this team? He's an offensive top 4 D-man, gets paid $6 million a year, but he's not doing anything offensively, so he's not an offensive D-man. 1 point in 7 games. I know he sort of got injured early in the season, doesn't have a lot of practice time. I need a lot more out of Sean Durzi. Need a lot more out of Barrett Hayden. Look at this. Like, your top 6 players, they're all here except for Hayden. Hayden has 1 point in the past 10 games. I know he does the intangibles, goes to the front of the net. You don't see his stats on the score sheet. Good face-off numbers, good analytics. You got to put puck in net. You got to get some production. You got to get on the score sheet. You're playing in the top 6. You got to produce like you're in the top 6. And then we go to goalies. Look, like these, we got to talk about goaltending. A lot of people in the past 10, 15 games, I know Utah's been in a weird funk the past like 20 games since starting the season 8-2. They're now, 6-11-3 since going 8-2-0. But Vejmelka, 12 wins on the season. That's 3rd in the NHL in goalie wins. These are good goalie numbers. You're almost at 900, which is around league average save percentage. So he's right there at league average save percentage. You love these goals against average numbers. 2.64 is really, really good goals against average numbers. So I feel like the heat needs to be taken off Vejmelka for a little bit. Vanacek, even he has good goals against average numbers as well. Save percentage a little bit low. The win-loss is bad, but you know, he doesn't really get a lot of support. We saw that in Calgary where he probably deserved the win and the team deserved the win. They played really good. They just didn't execute. They couldn't score, didn't give him goal support. He played against Dallas, an elite juggernaut team, and that was a pretty close game, just bad penalties against Dallas. They scored 2 power play goals against. So 5-on-5, Utah did a good job, only losing that game 4-3. So Vanacek, yeah, these goalies could be better, and they probably should be better. Maybe I'll eliminate Vejmelka. Like Vanacek, yeah, he could be better, but I feel like in these games, there's more glaring issues as to why they lost than, oh, Vanacek's just a bad goalie. Like, they should have won that game against Calgary. The offense let him down. He did his job. Even against Dallas, he did his job. Like a top 3 team in the league in Dallas, if not, fighting for the title of one of the best teams. And you throw Vanacek in there, and he holds his own. He does well. He looks okay. He looks competent. I'm sort of comfortable with him. It's just, again, not giving him the goal support, not scoring consistently game in and game out, to go like shutout against St. Louis, and then you score 7 against Anaheim, and then struggle a little bit against Vancouver, and then no goals against Calgary. It's like a little bit more consistency in the goal scoring department. I know it's a lot of games in a short amount of time. Hopefully here at home, they could grab some points, grab some confidence. They're playing pretty good the past 3 games. Anaheim, Vancouver, Calgary. I like the way they're playing, way better than those, block of games where it was all despair, angst, frustration. Like, they're playing pretty good the past 3 games. They have to build on it. They have to be better, because right now, even though they're playing better, it's not a playoff team. If they're not playing like a playoff team, they need to unlock another gear and consistently play at that high level. And that's what this team is missing right now, is just consistency. We see glimpses of it here and there, like against Anaheim, we see it. They got to work on consistency. They got to get to that next level and stay at that next level if they want to stay in that wild card position. Right now, they're just treading water. They're in the right spot at the wild card. They just need to be better. Everyone needs to be better. They got to look themselves in the room. I believe the solution is within the room. All these players know they could be better, should be playing better. I already called out some guys in Dursey and Hayden. Schmaltz, 3 points in 10 games. If those 3 guys play to their standards and everyone else keeps their same standard, like, you get a lot of points in the standings. So that's where I'm at. So thank you for watching. If you like what you see, spread the word. If you're feeling generous, I unlock super chats, so you could give a super chat. And as always, thank you for your support.